Everyone, I am Sandeep Kumar Singh, Senior Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, Babu Banasidas University, Lucknow. Today, I am here to represent my views about very fascinating and important topic of biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics, that is absorption of drugs. The content of my presentation is definitions of various terms like biopharmaceutics, pharmacokinetics, absorption, drug distribution, elimination, clinical pharmacokinetics, and viability. The next is the structure of functional cell membrane, then phases involved after drug administration, and the last is the mechanism of drug absorption. I would like to start with the introductory part of my presentation with the definitions. First is biopharmaceutics. What is biopharmaceutics? It is the study of factors influencing the rate and amount of drug that reaches the systemic circulation and the use of this information to optimize the therapeutic efficacy of the drug products. Pharmacokinetics. The study of time course of drug absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and their relationship with its therapeutic and toxic effects of drug is known as the pharmacokinetics. What is the absorption of drug? The process of movement of unchanged drug from its site of administration to systemic circulation, that is known as the blood, is called as drug absorption. Drug distribution. The movement of drug between one compartment to the other, such as extravascular tissues, bloods, organ, is referred to as drug distribution. Elimination. What is the elimination? It is the process that tends to remove the drug from the body and terminate its action is known as elimination of drug. Basically, elimination occurs by the two processes. First is known as the biotransformation. It is also called as metabolism of drug, and second is the excretion. Biotransformation. Biotransformation is usually inactivates the drug, which is generally irreversible transformation of parent drug. Excretion. Excretion is responsible for the exit of drug and metabolites from the body. Clinical pharmacokinetics. The use of pharmacokinetic principles in optimizing the drug doses to suit individual patient needs and achieving maximum therapeutic utility is known as the clinical pharmacokinetics. Bioavailability. The rate and extent or amount of drug absorbed is known as the viability of drug. If we alter the drug viability, it directly reflected the pharmacological effects of drug. Drug transport. For a drug to be absorbed and distributed into organs and tissue and eliminated from the body must be passed through one or more biological membranes at various locations. The such movement of drug across a membrane is called as drug transport. This is the basic structure of functional cell membrane. The cellular membrane consists of a double layer of amphiphilic phospholipid molecules arranged in such a fashion that their hydrocarbon chains are oriented inwards to form the hydrophobic or lipophilic phase and their polar heads oriented to form the outer and inner hydrophilic boundaries of the cellular membrane that faces the surrounding aqueous environment. The globular protein molecules are associated on either side of these hydrophilic boundaries and also interspersed within the membrane structure. In short, the membrane is a sandwich where a bimolecular layer of lipid is contained between two parallel monomolecular layers of protein. Basically, the hydrophobic core of the membrane is responsible for the relative impermeability of polar molecules, while aqueous filled pores or perforation of 4 to 10 angstrom in diameter are also present in the membrane structure, through which inorganic ions and small organic water soluble molecules like urea can be passed. In general, the biomembrane acts like a semi-permeable barrier permitting rapid and limited passage of some compounds while restricting that of others. The GI lining constituting the absorption barrier allow most nutrients like glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, vitamins to pass rapidly through it into the systemic circulation but prevents the entry of certain toxins and medicaments. Thus, for a drug to get absorbed after administration, it must first pass through this biological barrier. This is the graphical representation of pharmaceutical phases when the drug is administered. After drug administration, drug is distinguished from their respective dosage form and further dissolved. This phase is known as the pharmaceutical phase. After drug is dissolved, it is absorbed from the stomach or gastrointestinal tract to the systemic circulation and then further distributed. At the meantime, it is also metabolized or accumulated in the body or maybe excreted from the body. This phase is known as the pharmacokinetic phase. After a drug is distributed and reaches to their active site, it shows their pharmacological effects. The pharmacological effect is maybe the therapeutic effects or it may be the toxic effect. This phase is known as the pharmacodynamic phase. Now comes on absorption of drug. Drug absorption is defined as the process of movement of unchanged drug from the site of administration to systemic circulation. Basically, for the absorption, the effectiveness of a drug can only be assessed by its concentration at the site of action. But it is difficult to measure the drug concentration at the site of action. Instead, the concentration can be measured more accurately in plasma. There always exists a correlation between the plasma concentration of drug and the therapeutic response. Thus, absorption can be also defined as the process of movement of unchanged drug from the site of administration to the site of measurement, that is plasma. This definition takes into account the loss of drug that occur after oral administration due to pre-systemic metabolism or first pass effect. This graphical plot showing the significance or rate and extent of drug absorption in drug therapy. This is the plasma drug concentration versus time profile of a drug, where the when the drug concentration is enough from the minimum effective concentration, then the drug shows the therapeutic response. If the concentration of drug is low than the minimum effective concentration, then drug does not show their therapeutic response, which may be due to the solely or poorly absorption of drug. Mechanism of drug absorption. The three broad category of drug transport mechanisms involved in absorption of drug. First is transcellular or intracellular transport. Second is paracellular or intercellular transport, and third is vesicular transport. The transcellular or intracellular transport is further characterized into passive transport process and active transport process. The passive transport process is further subdivided into passive diffusion, pore transport, and pair transport, facilitated or mediated diffusion. The active transport process is further classified into primary and secondary active transport process. The secondary active transport process is further subdivided into symport and antiport transport system. The paracellular or intercellular transport is characterized into permeation or by the persorption. The vesicular or corpuscular transport, that is also known as endocytosis, is also subcategorized into pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Transcellular or intracellular transport. It is defined as the passage of drug across the GI epithelium. It is the most common pathway for drug transport. The three steps involved in intracellular transport of drugs, that are the first, permeation of GI epithelial cell membrane, that are lipoid barrier. This is the major obstacle to drug absorption. Second is the movement across the intracellular space, cytosol, that is known as. and third is permeation of the lateral or basolateral membrane. The various intracellular transport process involved in drug absorption. First is passive transport process and second is the active transport process. Passive transport process is further characterized into passive diffusion, pore transport, ion pair transport, and facilitated or mediated diffusion. Passive diffusion. It is also called as non-ionic diffusion. It is the major process for absorption of more than 90% of drugs. The driving force for this process is the concentration or electrochemical gradient. Basically, it is defined as the difference in the drug concentration on either side of the membrane. Thus, the drug movement is a result of the kinetic energy of molecules. Since no energy source is required, the process is called as passive diffusion. Basically, during passive diffusion, the drug present in the aqueous solution at the absorption site partition and dissolve in the lipid material of the membrane and finally leave it by the dissolving again in the aqueous medium, this time at the inside of the membrane. Basically, passive diffusion is best expressed by Fick's first law of diffusion, which states that the drug molecule diffuse from a region of their higher concentration to one of their lower concentration until equilibrium is attained, and that the rate of diffusion is directly proportional to the concentration gradient across the membrane. It can be mathematically expressed by the following equation, that is the dq by dt is equal to dak upon h cgit minus c, where dq by dt represents the rate of drug diffusion, or it also represents the rate of appearance of drug in blood. H is the thickness of membrane or length of membrane. D represents the diffusion coefficient of drug through the membrane, that is the area upon time. A represents the surface area of the absorbing medium membrane for drug diffusion. K m by W represents the partition coefficient of the drug between membrane and aqueous phase. C GIT minus C represents the difference in the concentration of drug in GI fluid and the plasma. Based on the above equation, certain characteristics of passive diffusion can be generalized. First, the drug moves down the concentration gradient, indicating downhill transport. The process is energy independent and non-saturable. The rate of drug transfer is directly proportional to the concentration gradient between GI fluid and the blood compartment. Greater the area and lesser the thickness of the membrane, faster the diffusion of the drug. The process is rapid over short distance and slower over the long distance. The equilibrium is attained when the concentration on either side of the membrane become equal. Drug, which can exist in both ionized and unionized form, approaches equilibrium primarily by the transfer of the unionized species. The rate of transfer of ionized species is 3 to 4 times greater than the rate of ionized drug. Greater the membrane water partition coefficient of drug, faster the absorption. Drug diffuse rapidly when the volume of GI fluid is low. The process depends to less extent on the square root of the molecular size of the drug. Drug having molecular weight between 100 to 400 Dalton are effectively absorbed passively. Non-pore transport. It is also called as convective transport or bulk flow or filtration. This mechanism is responsible for transport of molecules into the cell through the protein channels present in the cell membrane. Basically, the following characteristic of pore transport. The first is the driving force is constituted by the hydrostatic pressure or the osmotic difference across the membrane, due to which bulk flow of water along with small solid molecules or drug occurs through such aqueous channels. Water flux that promotes such a transport is called as solvent drag. The process is important in the absorption of low molecular weight less than 100, low molecular size smaller than the diameter of the pore, and generally water soluble drug through narrow aqueous filled channels or pores in the membrane structure. For example, urea, water, and sugars. Chain-like or linear compounds of molecular weight up to 400 Dalton can also be absorbed by the filtration process. Drug permeation through water-filled channel is important in renal excision, removal of drug from the cerebrospinal fluid, and entry of drug into the liver. Comes on pair transport. At another mechanism that explain the absorption of drug like quaternary ammonia compound and sulfonic acid, which ionize under all pH conditions, is ion pair transport. Despite their low oil is to water partition coefficient values, such agents penetrate the membrane by forming reversible neutral complexes with the endogenous ions of the GIT, like mucin. Such neutral complexes have both the requirement, that means lipophilicity, as well as the equisolubility for passive diffusion. Such a phenomenon is called as ion pair transport. Basically, propanol, a basic drug that forms an ion pair with oleic acid, is absorbed by this mechanism. This is the graphical representation of ion pair transport of cationic and neutral drug, in which the cationic drug form the complex with the endogenous anions like mucin, and as well as the neutral drugs form the complex ion pair complex, which are then passively diffused through the membrane and reaches to the blood, where they are further dissociated into their respective ions. That is the ion pair transport of cationic and neutral drugs. Some polar drugs cross the membrane more rapidly than can be predicted from their concentration gradient or partition coefficient value. This suggests presence of a specialized transport mechanism without which many essential water-soluble nutrients like monosaccharides, amino acids, and vitamins will be poorly absorbed. The mechanism is thought to involve a component of membrane called as carrier that binds reversibly or non-covalently with the solute molecules to be transported. This carrier solute complex transfers across the membrane to the other side, where it dissociates and discharges the solute molecule. The carrier then returns to its original site to complete the cycle by accepting a fresh molecule of solute. Carriers in membrane are protein, that is known as the transport protein, and may be an enzyme or some other component of the membrane. They are numerous in all biological membranes and are found dissolved in lipid bilayer of the membrane. Basically, important characteristic of carrier-mediated transporter: a carrier protein always have an uncharged non-polar outer surface which allow it to be soluble within the lipid of the membrane. The carriers have no directionality, that means they work with same efficiency in both directions. The transport process is structure specific, that is to say the carriers have special affinity for and transfer of a drug of specific chemical structure only, that is lock and key arrangement. Since the system is structure specific, drug having structure similar to essential nutrients called as fast nutrients are absorbed by the same carrier system. Continue with the carrier mediated transport. Basically, the carrier mediated transport is well explained for the absorption of several anti-neoplastic agents like 5-fluorouracil or 5-bromouracil, which serve as fast nutrients. As the number of carriers is limited, the transport system is subject to competition between agents having similar structure. Since the number of carriers is limited, the system is capacity limited. Means at higher drug concentration, the drug system becomes saturated and approaches the asymptote. It is important to note that for a drug absorbed by passive diffusion, the rate of absorption increases linearly, but the concentration with the concentration. But in case of carrier-mediated process, the drug absorption increases linearly with concentration until the carrier becomes saturated, after which it becomes curvilinear. This graph represents the carrier-mediated and passive diffusion-related drug transport, where the rate of drug absorption increase linear way in case of passive diffusion when the concentration of drug is increased. But in case of carrier mediated transport, the rate of drug absorption is increased until the carriers are not saturated. When the carriers are saturated with the increasing the concentration of drug, the graph is become curvy linear. That is the major difference between the passive diffusion and carrier mediated transport. Now comes on facilitated diffusion. It is a carrier-mediated transport system that operates down the concentration gradient, that is downhill transport, but at much faster rate than can be accounted by the simple passive diffusion. The driving force is concentration gradient, hence a passive process, since no energy expenditure is involved in this process. Hence, the process is not inhibited by the metabolic poisons that interfere with energy production. The passive diffusion is of limited importance in the absorption of drug. For example, of transport system include entry of glucose into RBC and intestinal absorption of vitamin B1 and B12. A classic example of passive facilitated diffusion is the GI absorption of vitamin B12, where intrinsic factors, a glycoprotein produced by the gastric parietal cell, form a complex with vitamin B12, which is then transported across the intestinal membrane by a carrier system. This is the graph represent the transport of vitamin B12 by the carrier mediated transport process using the intrinsic factor. Active transport process. This transport mechanism require energy in the form of ATP, or active transport mechanisms are further subdivided into the primary active transport and secondary active transport. The secondary active transport is further characterized into symport and antiport. Now comes on the primary active transport. Basically, in this process, there is a direct ATP requirement. Moreover, the process transforms only one ion or molecule and in only one direction, hence called as unipolar system. The example is absorption of glucose. The carrier protein involved in primary active transport are of two types, that is ion transporters and ABC transporters. The ion transporters are responsible for transporting ions in or out of cells. A classic example of ATP driven ion pump is proton pump, which is implicated in acidification of intracellular compartments. The two types of ion transporter which play important role in the intestinal absorption of drug have been identified. First is organic anion transporters and organic cation transporters. The organic anion transporters used for absorption of drugs such as the atorvastatin, and the organic cation transporter is used for the absorption of drugs such as the diphenhydramine. In case of the ABC transporters, these are basically responsible for transporting small foreign molecules like drugs and toxins, especially out of cell, thus called as efflux pumps, which makes them clinically important. A classic example of ABC transporter is P-glycoprotein, PGP. Basically, it is responsible for pumping hydrophobic drugs, especially anti-cancer drugs, out of cells. Presence of large quantity of this protein thus makes the cell resistant to a variety of drugs used in cancer chemotherapy. A phenomenon is called as multi-drug resistance. It is for this reason the PGP is called as multi-drug resistance protein. The ABC transporters present in the brain and capillaries pump a wide range of drug out of brain. Secondary active transport. In these process, there is no direct requirement of ATP, means it takes advantage of previously existing concentration gradient. The energy required in transporting an ions adds transport of another ions or molecule, that is coupled transport, either in the same direction or in the opposite direction. Accordingly, this process further subdivided into symport and antiport. Symport involve movement of both the molecules in the same direction, such as sodium's ion glucose symporter use the potential energy of sodium concentration gradient to move glucose against its concentration gradient. A classic example of symporter is peptide transporters called as H hydrogen ion coupled peptide transporters, which is implicated in the intestinal absorption of peptide like drugs such as beta lactam antibiotics. In case of antiporter, that is counter transport, which involves movement of molecule in the opposite direction. Basically, example is expulsion of hydrogen ion using the sodium ion gradient in the kidney. This figure represents the active transport of drug by using the ATP. The active transport is a major important process that facilitates diffusion in the absorption of nutrients and drugs and differs from it in several respects, such as the drug is transported from a region of lower to one of higher concentration, that is against the concentration gradient in the case of ions against an electrochemical gradient, or uphill transport without any regard for equilibrium. The process is faster than passive diffusion since the process is uphill, energy required in the work done by the carrier. As the process requires expenditure of energy, it can be inhibited by metabolic poisons that interfere with energy production like fluorides, cyanides, and lack of oxygen. Endogenous substances that are transported actively include sodium, potassium, calcium, iron, glucose, certain amino acids, and vitamins like niacin and ascorbic acid. The drugs having similar structure to such agents are absorbed actively, particularly the agent useful in cancer chemotherapy. On paracellular or intracellular transport. The transport of drug through the junctions between the GI epithelial cells is known as the paracellular or intracellular transport. This pathway is of minor importance in drug absorption. The two paracellular transport mechanisms involved in drug absorption, first is known as the permeation and second is known as the persorption. In case of permeation, it occurs through the tight junction of epithelial cell. This process basically occurs through opening which are little bigger than the aqueous pores. Compounds such as insulin and cardiac glycoside are taken up by this mechanism. In case of persorption, it is the permeation of drug through a temporary opening formed by the shedding of two neighboring epithelial cells into the lumen. Vesicular or corpuscular transport, that is known as endocytosis. It is a minor transport mechanism which involves engulfing extracellular material within a segment of cell membrane to form a vacuole or vesicle, hence also called as corpuscular or vesicular transport, which is then pinched off intracellularly. This is the only transport mechanism whereby a drug or compound does not have to be in aqueous solution in order to be absorbed. Like active transport, they are also energy dependent process but involve transport of substance within a vesicle into a cell. Since the mechanism involves transport across the membrane, the process can be also be classified as transcellular or vesicular transport. The vesicular transport drug can be classified into two categories, that is phagocytosis and pinocytosis. Basically, this phenomenon is responsible for the cellular uptake of macromolecule nutrients like fats and starch, oil-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and vitamin K, and as well as water-soluble vitamins like vitamin B12 and drugs such as insulin. The another significance of such a process is that the drug is absorbed into the lymphatic circulation, thereby passing the first pass hepatic metabolism. Basically, endocytosis include two type of process, that is phagocytosis and pinocytosis. Phagocytosis, it is also called as cell eating, and pinocytosis, it is also called as cell drinking. Basically, phagocytosis is used for the solid particulates and pinocytosis is used for the liquid or fluid material. In case of phagocytosis, absorptive uptake of solid particulate occur. In case of pinocytosis, the uptake of fluid solute occur. This figure represents the phenomena of endocytosis, where the macromolecules are engulfed by the membrane and form the vesicle-like structure, which are further release the macromolecules into the blood. Then this complete figure represents the endocytosis phenomena, basically by the phagocytosis process. Also, orally administered Sabine polio vaccine, large protein molecules, and the toxins that cause food poisoning are thought to be absorbed by the pinocytosis. Sometimes endocytic vesicle is transferred fro- from one extracellular compartment to another. Such a phenomenon is called as transcytosis. Finally, we have summarized various mechanisms involved for the absorption of drugs that will be helpful for all the students. Now, in next presentation, we will discuss about the factor influencing the absorption of drug. Thank you.